Vampire Beyond the Basement with Jim Jam, Johnny, and Yeti. We have a special guest today, Taylor Gentry, and we will be talking to Count Drahoon later.
What's with the quotation marks?
Count. We all know. But this is where we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. We talk about aliens, ghosts, and today, like I say, we will be talking to a vampire.
What?
If you're watching the video.
What's the deal?
Johnny's taking his role as the skeptic way too seriously. Johnny has this cockamamie conspiracy theory that you and the Count are the same person.
Hold on a minute, y'all.
Hold on, no. Wait. You didn't say Count. You did it wrong. Quotation marks.
You do air quotes weird. It's this way, not this way.
No, this way.
This looks like you've got like two retarded bunnies fighting each other.
No. That would be, if you did this, that would look so weird. I've never seen anyone on a movie go like, yeah, I didn't.
Dr. Evil does that. What are you talking about? It's like
Dr. Evil, he's an idiot.
He didn't spend 8 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
But speaking of Mr. Drahoon will be on later. But Taylor, let's just get out there. People think that you're Count Drahoon. I think that.
But you met
people. I should say I think that.
But you've met me before, and you've met Count Drahoon, so we're like nothing alike.
Well, but you've never been in the same room together that I've seen.
Yeah, but that's kind of a coincidence.
Yeah, because Count Drahoon is more of the face of the show. Taylor produces.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
That's just like us on 90% of the Beyond. It's 90% of it's me and Johnny talking because we are the brains and the brawn, and Jimmy produces, and we just let him be on camera because it's his setup.
But see, there you go.
Thank you.
He's there. At least he's there.
Yeah, but when y'all met him at Rocky Top, how do you think he got there?
Did you just wait in the car?
Well, I drove him there because I didn't want him to. I didn't want him to fly in because the sun was still out. So I drove him in because I have a black car. But yeah, I drove him in, and then when it was time for him to leave, I picked him back up.
Yeah, you aren't that. I guess you're not that far away.
No.
I don't know. I'm still skeptic. I don't believe it.
Oh,
anyway.
So you had producing things to do back in Murfreesboro, right?
Yeah, because I write his. Well, the intros are sort of collaborative, but I kind of for each show that we do, for each show that we do, I like to write his intros and his outros, and then he gets final approval. And then you, but most of it nowadays is just him reading the copy for Patreon and for sponsors and stuff like that. So there's really not a whole lot to approve. I kind of have to override him a little bit on the advertisement stuff. But yeah, I do that, and I gotta But yeah, somebody's got to edit the show and do all the social media stuff and all that because I have to help him out with that stuff. He's a 1,500-year-old vampire. He's pretty tech savvy for an old guy, but he still needs some pointers every now and then. So,
how did you get involved with him, Mr. Drahoon?
So I kind of found him by accident. I was making a movie for a class project, and I wanted a vampire. I was going to play the vampire because I grew up on, watching the Universal monster movies, so Dracula has always been my favorite movie. But I was scouting locations, and he was just there, kind of hanging out in an abandoned old house. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared at first because I was a young kid, and there was a vampire just sort of hanging out in an abandoned old house somewhere in the boondocks of Tennessee. But he was really cool, and I kind of told him what I was doing, and he seemed interested. So I was like, "Hey, why don't you come on for a film shoot?" And he said, "Groovy." He literally said "groovy," which I thought was kind of weird at the time, but I don't judge people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started. I've been his handler since I was in middle school, basically. He hasn't tried to attack me or anybody that I know personally. So, like, my parents were cool with it. And, my friends really like him too because they think he's a really charming guy. They think he's funny, even though he's kind of accidentally funny. He's funny when he doesn't really try to be. But that's kind of how it's all been. Like, he was in some movies I did, and we kind of came up with the idea for the podcast because he liked the idea of being a horror host. And that's kind of how the idea for Count Drahoon's Feature of Fright came.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, being an older guy, I'm kind of curious because your older relatives, sometimes you got to kind of go, well, it was a different time. They'll say some things that may not be. Do you ever find? Do you ever have to be like, okay, Count, you can't say that. We don't say those things anymore.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, he kind of had a really negative opinion on. Let's just say he sort of had a really negative opinion on a lot of different groups, half of which I think are basically extinct at this point. But some that are still kind of around, and I had to be like, hey, you gotta kind of keep it G-rated because nobody really knows what you're talking about, and B, like, for some people that do know what you're talking about, maybe don't say that because they're gonna get the wrong impression about you. But he's stubborn in some ways, but like in ways, in when it comes to presenting himself, he's a pretty open-minded guy. So, like, he listens to me when it comes to stuff like that. So it wasn't too much of a challenge.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So he listens to you?
Well, yeah, he takes my advice. But I also have to be careful because, I'm working with a centuries-old vampire, so I don't want to, even though I'm not really afraid of him, I don't want to get on his bad side because I imagine he could do some damage, but he's a nice enough guy, so I don't really worry about that. And we do have disagreements a lot, but I think that's pretty common with any kind of working relationship with anyone.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of like having a big dog or like a tiger or something. It's like it's all fine. You just have to have that healthy respect there, just in case.
Yeah. Have y'all ever seen the Disney movie Under Wraps?
No.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, it came out in like the late '90s, I think. So I was really little when it came out. Hi, kitty. Hi.
He's really mad at me because I picked him up.
No, you're good. So it was a movie. It was basically about a bunch of kids who were horror movie fans, and they found a mummy, like a real mummy. I think they broke into like a warehouse or something, and like he got out of his sarcophagus and just started walking around. But like he followed them but not in a like I'm gonna kill you kind of way, but more in like a hey, let's be friends kind of way. So they basically just took him in, and the whole movie is just about them like hanging out and all that, and that's basically what it was. Except the Count can talk. The mummy in that movie couldn't.
Huh.
What was it called again?
Under wraps.
Under wraps.
I have seen that movie.
Kind of like Encino Man with a mummy.
Yeah, Encino Man with a mummy.
Yeah, it's 1997 movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, I looked it up, and the mummy looks really familiar. I've probably seen it.
It's like a classic mummy. Yeah, or not a classic mummy, but just that picture of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So,
speaking of which, that would be a great idea for a movie in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Like
what's that?
Oh, go ahead.
What would be a good movie? Just Under Wraps?
No. The tale of Taylor and the Count from like a biopic.
Oh, how a 1,450-year-old man found a middle school kid.
Well, when you put it like that,
I mean,
it sounds like that Michael Jackson movie.
Yeah, like.
Sorry, yeah. You brought it up.
Allegedly. That's ignorant.
Okay to shit your bed.
My parents thought he was nice. That's not nothing to joke about, but I mean, living in
no, goddamn.
I couldn't help it. Oh man, had to edit that out.
So Taylor, had a question. Do you help scout out potential food for the Count, or does he do that on his own?
I don't have any. No, that I have nothing to do with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and plead the fifth on that one. So that
plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability. That's his thing. I don't. As far as I'm concerned, like he still gets food from the blood bank. So, and that's the story. I'm sticking to it. But no, I don't help him.
So you never had an enemy that you might have kind of, hey Count, this guy seems delicious, or this person seems delicious, whatever.
No, because it kind of sucks because somebody which doesn't happen very much because I'm a really easygoing guy, but every now and then, like at work, I'm frustrated with somebody and I'm angry with them. Like I'll mention something like, "Hey, it'd be really nice if you kind of bit this person," and he just kind of frowns and is just like, like, "No, I'm not going to do that. That's silly." Which is his way of telling him, like, if they're bad people, the blood's probably not going to taste as good. So, or however, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't run from your fights. You gotta stand up for yourself.
That's true. But I also think that he just doesn't want to. He just doesn't do anything. I think that's his deal too. When he's not doing show related stuff, he's really fascinated with like Shudder and Netflix, and so all he does is just watches movies. So he's sometimes he can be, when it's time to work, it's like, hey man, we Count, we got to record, and he's just like, I'm busy, I have to watch this and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, come on. Not like I'm paying him or anything. I'm not. He really has nothing to do. He's he has nothing but time, so he's doing this all as a favor to me, kind of. So.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is probably the weirdest conversation y'all have ever had, isn't it?
I mean, one of, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's
what's
definitely weird.
what's the end game? Are you working towards eternal life here, or are you just kind of enjoying the ride, or?
I'm just enjoying the ride, man. I don't know if I want to be a vampire because okay, let me so he kind of explained this to me. Have y'all ever seen the movie Kronos, directed by Guillermo del Toro?
I think.
Okay, well, if in case you haven't, it's a really great movie. It might be my favorite Del Toro movie, but I think anything that he's ever done is really good. But that was his first movie, and basically it's a vampire movie, and the Count told me that it actually does a really good job explaining how vampires age, and basically they just shed. So the Count looks the way that he does because, like, he basically at some point, like, peeled his skin, and that's what he looks like now. But probably in the next couple decades or so, he'll peel again, and he'll look a little different. So they shed their skin kind of like snakes, and I guess in a way kind of like a caterpillar. So
Yeah, he does kind of look a little, you know.
Hey,
old.
Yeti, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Is the Count a
What?
reptilian?
Oh.
I mean,
all
vampires.
I don't know about that one.
Or maybe we've had it wrong this whole time. It's not actually reptilians. It's vampires.
Could be.
No, we see them some bitches out during the day though.
Do we?
Yeah.
Or is that just what the media wants us to think?
Oh.
See there?
Wow.
But
Or it's
how
not,
does
or
the
it's
feel about
not,
that though?
or it's not the real sun. It's just it's some light that they put up in the sky. That's what they did with the moon landing.
I was about to say, if you can fake an entire moon landing on a soundstage, you can fake a daytime press conference.
Yeah, you can project the sun. Yeah, I got you.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's all in post production, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fix it in post. That's why they.
Nothing's ever actually live.
You can actually fix it all in post.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, I'm really sorry. It's actually my girlfriend on the phone. I gotta take this because the time difference. So I'll be right back. Okay.
All right.
What the fuck?
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi.
Out of nowhere, Count Drahoon is here.
Been a while.
As y'all might remember.
I mean, can't argue with your own eyes.
No.
Thank you.
I think you did some kind of hoodoo magic, Count.
I didn't do no hoodoo magic. Taylor had to get up and do some producing things, and I wanted to talk to you because I feel like we had beef.
Well, I mean, it was always a question, Mr. Drahoon. Can I call you Mr. Drahoon?
It sounds. I'm not offended, but don't you think it kind of sounds weird when you say Mister?
Maybe a little condescending. I don't know.
It's a little. Now that you say it, it is a little condescending. I worked very hard for my title. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what's in the question more than anything. All right, what are you a count of?
Well, I'm a count because my dad is like the king of all vampires. So you get your own royal title because of it.
I guess okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, if he's a fucking king,
There you go.
lucky you. I was just
Right.
born into
So
poverty.
then you're Prince Drahoon?
No, he's a count. Do you not get this?
I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm not the heir apparent, so I don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't get the title of prince. I'm just a count. So
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have
some are
brothers.
luckier than others.
It's European birth politics is really fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Like titles are just I don't know. It's a really weird thing. Like my old lady's all about some ancient European kingly stuff. I can't follow it.
Do you think that's complicated? You should have been alive back in the 500s.
Wow.
There's no air conditioning, no Wi-Fi.
Good times though. Did I
Yeah,
ever
I'm
tell
sure.
you? Did I ever tell you that Attila the Hun was my best friend in high school?
No.
Wow.
He was. Good fella. I miss him sometimes.
Did they have proms back then? Or any kind of dances at school?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Whenever the Huns sacked a village or Rome, there was a great feast and dancing and all that. But compared to a lot of the proms that you see nowadays, the proms are very tame. A little too tame for my taste sometimes.
A little more bloodshed and.
Oh
Yeah.
Lots more bloodshed. Nobody appreciates sacking anymore like they used to.
No, they don't.
You really don't. There's a market decline in the whole pillage and plunder thing. These younger generations have really gotten soft.
They have. Like I'm watching the news all the time, and I say to myself, just sack it already. But they don't. They only get so far into it.
Just burn it down.
Right.
Have you really lived if you haven't burned a monastery?
Or one of the largest cities in the world, Rome, Italy. I wasn't there for that. I want to clarify though. That was it wasn't before my time, but I was on vacation, so
Probably best.
some legal repercussion. But I think there's a statute of limitations on that, so we should be fine.
Yeah, I think so there, Mr. Drahoon.
I think I heard Nero was a shit fiddler anyway, so.
Johnny did it again.
Nero may have been a little bit before my time, but he was no Charlie Daniels, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
So, Count, we hear that you're going to be on Troma now.
Yes. So I've talked a little bit about that on the Monday night readings, but the stuff that we've been working on the last few weeks, we actually shot. I think 2 weekends ago, we shot at a house in South Pittsburgh for 2 episodes that are going to come out with this new, for lack of a better term, this new reboot that we're doing of the show that's going to be on Troma now. But basically, the show is the same. It's Count Drahoon's feature of right. However, instead of just getting straight audio, we are filming our radio plays. So typically you get, with each episode, you get 2 radio plays that have to do with some sort of horror tale. And then the second half of the show, we are trying to spotlight some sort of local talent, whether they're musicians or poets or stand-up comedians even. And we do that because we recognized earlier on that the pandemic has really hurt the entertainment industry, specifically for, younger talent or talent that may not be as well known as your Elton Johns or your Dolly Partons. So we want to do our part and help those folks out, even if they're not horror related. And I guess Lloyd Kaufman sort of liked the idea, so they invited us to join Troma Now. So whenever we get the date, and I'll be sure to share that along whenever they finally announce what premiere date, when we're going to premiere on Troma Now. But it looks like that's going to happen, and we should have hopefully a new episode every month on Troma Now. But our episodes are also going to be available on the Marion County Messenger and WGNS.com, which is the radio station in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Nice. Good varied distribution there.
Yes, it's interesting because as if Troma wasn't already a chaotic mix, now they have the Counting Company thrown in. So it'll be interesting to see how depraved it's going to become.
It's good company, though. Good company.
Very good company. Yes, we couldn't have asked for a better distribution than Troma. So I don't know if I imagine my street cred has gone up a bit in the horror exploitation community because being a part of Troma or having any sort of Troma-related guest on your show, it's a badge of honor. So I'm in, like you said, Yeti, I'm in very good company. So, and I actually posted in the private. Well, I didn't post it. My producer posted a question in our private Facebook page. What do the Count and Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn have in common? So, and now we have Troma to get in common. What do you know?
So, Count, real quick, I would like, for everyone that don't know who the Count is, you want to give a backstory? Or no, not a backstory, but your life, I guess.
Well, I can't give you the story of my entire life because that would take too long. But I don't think we have enough time for that. But basically, I'm over 1,000 years old. I forgot exactly how old I am. I think I'm closer to 1,500 than not. But basically, I spent a good deal of my life somewhere in Eastern Europe where the Kingdom of Vampires is sort of tucked away in the Carpathian Mountains in a place called Markovoa. I left there many centuries ago, and with my assistant, he's no longer my assistant, but he's still a good friend, Bishkek, and we sort of went out into the normal world, as it were. Lots of misadventures along the way. I met Napoleon and the Duke of Wellington in the same day by accident once. Lots of entanglements with different creatures and monsters and ghosts and ghouls and all of that nature. And then I dabbled in the mad science for a little while. I actually created my son, who's, I guess you would say, was sort of a teenage Frankenstein named Daryl. And after a while, I decided the mad science game wasn't really for me. So I decided to get into entertainment. And I've been in film, and I sort of fell into podcasting in the last few years. And I guess that's sort of where we are right now. So I am a horror host. But my main vehicle is podcasting. And I don't necessarily, I don't present movies. I present original radio tales. So, and I also have guests who have horror-related projects. You three have been guests on the show before. I've also had filmmakers like Donald Farmer, Lloyd Kaufman. I've had Joe Bob Briggs. I've had other podcasters, such as David Cummings from the No Sleep podcast. I've even had the creators of King Falls AM, if you're familiar with that show. So even more great misadventures along the way.
Well, one adventure that I think I heard about is was there an alien you were involved in with or something like that?
Well, you all being humans in terms of romance, you're familiar with the concept of the one who got away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Are you about to say?
She was the one that got away. And not in a creepy, like scary, I'm going to keep you in my dungeon kind of way, but like it could have been a thing kind of got away.
Yeah.
But yes, so what happened was a long time ago, me and Bishkek were, I forgot what we were doing, but anyway, it was one evening, a UFO crashed into the back courtyard of my castle, and we came out, and she started just blasting everything in sight, and we had to calm her down because she was technically the one that was trespassing on our property. But we calmed her down, and I volunteered to fix her ship because I'm, a bit of a tinkerer with mad science experiments and whatnot. But I knew it was going to take a while because we didn't have anything that far advanced that could help her ship along the way. And so she was basically stuck at our castle for a while, and we got to know each other, decided that we liked each other a whole lot, and the romance blossomed. But then it was time to fix the ship, and it was fixed, and she had to depart our planet, and she drifted on into the space-time continuum because she had to return back to her part of the universe to fight a war against another alien race. And she actually had to sever our means of communication because it also happens to be a wormhole that you can go back and forth. And she did that for safety's sake. And I haven't heard from her since. So
I don't know if these guys want to know, but I want to know: did the Count make whoopee with an alien?
now, Jimmy, vampires don't kiss and tell.
I don't know, man. I've seen some movies.
What?
I've seen some movies. I don't know.
What was that, Johnny?
I said I've seen some movies, so they do kiss and tell.
Well, yes, but
Did she, or did she find out she was a fraud?
no, she was no fraud.
Okay.
I don't think there was any. See. What is this? You've seen me. You've met Taylor before. You know that we're not the same person. So I don't understand why you keep throwing this at me.
I do follow them both on Instagram.
See there? We are two
It
separate
has to be legit, Johnny.
There's no way that I am Taylor Gentry. We don't even look alike.
Well, I mean, you got me there. You don't look alike. I mean, he's a lot better looking than you are. But, I mean, because he's younger. Only because he's younger. That's
Well, I was going to say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm not an alien, so that might be.
He does.
Your alien left and went galaxies away to get away from you. And that's a sore subject. I don't think she left me. She didn't leave me. She had obligations. Sorry about that.
But you wouldn't know anything about that, young man.
No, I wouldn't. Because I'm perpetually single forever.
He's a professional single.
Right.
And hey, don't feel bad, Johnny. Your time will come. It may take a few centuries, but take it from me. Your time will come. I promise. But she's also saw that Taylor has a girlfriend now.
Yeah. Lucky guy. I got a cat, so
See,
I got a
4-1
cat.
for Johnny.
I don't think I'm ever going to get a girlfriend because apparently women don't like guys with cats. So screw.
I don't know about that.
That's propaganda.
I dated.
It is propaganda.
That's propaganda
Dog owners.
from dog people. So I have a
Screw
bunch
all
of
you
cats.
dog owners.
I've dated plenty of ladies who like
Oh.
cats. Now, granted, they transformed into those cats, but they still like them.
I actually like dogs too, so I just have a cat because it's easier.
You know, your cat could be a witch who transformed herself into a cat.
Oh no,
Oh,
he's
it's a
an
boy.
a-hole. Yeah, he's an a-hole.
Okay, well,
So he might just be someone that transformed some asshole.
Maybe he got
into a cat.
turned into a cat by a witch.
Yeah.
I said that too. That happens. That happens actually more than the witch
Yeah.
transformed into a cat.
I like him. He's a good cat. He's a rescue cat, so you know.
Very nice of you.
Over there sleeping, don't freaking clean, don't fucking cook. So,
Don't pay the rent.
anyways, let's get off that subject.
Okay, so here's what I'm wondering. I was thinking, and we may have, because when I had my short run of a YouTube show, I had the count on, and we talked for a long time, and this may have came up. I kind of want to get your feelings, just hot takes on some cinematic vampires.
Okay.
We'll start early and then get more modern. Nosferatu.
Striking resemblance to my father. Although I will say that my father was a bit more handsome, but it hits sort of close to me because me and my father, we haven't talked in a while. So.
Yeah, I could see where that would be kind of an iffy thing, depending on the day.
Mm-hmm.
What about?
Would you say that it bites you on the inside?
Yes. Well, I saw what you did there.
Fucking you dry of emotions?
You're a terrible human being, but that was funny.
Yeah, that's why I don't get women in their count.
How about Christopher Lee's take on Dracula?
Look, as I've mentioned in the Monday night readings, because we're reading Dracula right now. It's a long book. I'm just gonna flat out say it. It pisses me off that the story is so well constructed because Bram Stoker literally stole not my life story, but like he basically borrowed my likeness without my permission. And I thought we were gonna have a deal together, but no, he decides that Drahoon is not a cool enough name for his novel, so he changes it to Dracula. So I've got an entirely bitter outlook on the whole franchise. However, I will say that Christopher Lee, he's fantastic. He's really more of what your typical vampire would be like. Very, I'm sort of an outlier because I'm kind of a nice guy. Most vampires, how you would say, are pricks. So.
Well, yeah. And to just throw my lot in with you there. I've read the unabridged version of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it is nigh on incomprehensible.
Oh, well, it's just because
of the non-standard spellings and
mm-hmm.
and the like, because for those who don't know, we didn't have standardized spellings of words until much later. Mm-hmm. So you can have the same word spelled 5 different ways on the same page.
And it is.
And it's.
If you watch the live stream, sometimes I'm struggling with the words, and that's because A, English is like a 5th language for me, and B, there's a lot of there's a lot of that. There's a lot of words that are spelt differently in different parts of the book, and I'm not sure if it's the same word or if it is, and if that's the case, why did he decide to change the spelling in that particular part of the book? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but
it doesn't.
But yeah, you're right, and it shifts around a lot because there's like 10 different perspectives, because the whole novel is told through journals, telegraphs, newspaper articles, diary entries. So it bounces around constantly.
So I feel like there's a great concept there, but he really lost a lot in translation or in the execution.
So
that's not why we're here.
So his writing style is kind of batty. Is that what you would say?
God damn it! So
the next one, he gets muted for like 10 seconds.
So
you're serving this up to me, guys.
I know. I'm letting you.
We'll go a little more modern. 30 Days a Night.
I have a confession to make. I haven't actually seen 30 Days of Night.
You didn't miss anything.
Well, it's straightforward, you know. I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty smart for vampires to move to Alaska so that we can have that. Having said that, it's my understanding that the guy, like the head vampire or one of the head vampires, like really went overboard and just decided to kill off he wanted to kill off the whole town. And it's like, dude, that's your food supply. Like, it's like you've gotta fence them in like cattle. No offense, but like you can't just kill them all off arbitrarily. Like, you've got to raise them, you've got to plump them up, and when it's their time, it's their time. But
harvest,
right? Harvest. And,
you don't go out and whack all the cows at once.
No, that would be stupid. I mean, look what happened to the Vikings.
You have to set up. I mean, granted, now if you set them up and you just let them, maybe something like that.
It's boring.
Seems
like it would be really boring.
There's ways to raise humans humanely and organically.
So okay, that makes me think. Okay, I want to ask this: do you prefer carnivore over a vegan, or a vegan over a carnivore? What would you prefer?
Look, you can't be a vegan vampire. That's just not.
No. I'm talking about your food.
Oh,
what tastes better?
Probably, I don't know if I've had vegans. It's just air.
Not as fatty. Blood's a little thinner.
Yeah, if it's. Oh, you know what? Heavy amounts of coconut milk. A lot of people.
Yeah.
It's don't mind coconut. I just don't like the consistency. So I don't know. Maybe work on that if you're a vegan listening.
Do you like a lot of cholesterol in your blood?
Yeah, Jimmy, I'd have to say so. Like, it's kind of the same thing with humans. Humans like fatty foods. McDonald's, Burger King, all that.
Yeah.
Works the same way with vampires. So, like, when you eat the Burger King, and then we go out later for dinner, if you know what I mean, then, I get the Burger King too. So I win twice. So yeah. I still think McDonald's has the best fries, but
yeah, if they're fresh. So piggybacking off of that, say, I don't know, you pick your victim for the evening, and you don't realize that they've maybe taken some LSD, or maybe done some coke in the bathroom. And you, does that transfer over too? Do you get the buzz? Is that?
It would, but I would like to point out to the audience that I did avoid Woodstock back in the '60s, so just so that
So
would.
you avoid the rave scenes, the party goers, the clubs.
Mhm. I've seen a lot of existential horror. I don't feel like I need to trip out on LSD to see more of it.
Yeah. And if you're not ready for it, I feel like that's something that could sneak up on you and just ruin your whole week.
Right, bad things would happen.
Well,
yeah.
If you stay awake too long, you end up in the sun.
Yeah.
That too. So I have to have to be extra careful. Certain areas of the country I'd probably have to avoid. Colorado, I'm looking at you. But
because then you just keep feeding, just
right, it wouldn't stop, and then before you know it, there's like a massive genocide going on, and the sun's up, and I get burned to a crisp.
Okay.
Do you like say you can't sleep and it's becoming daylight? Do you take melatonin to sleep, or is that a thing? Or
so you know that whenever you go into the coffin, like you're dead, right?
No, I don't know.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you don't. Mm-hmm. When I'm in the coffin, I'm useless. Unless I set my alarm clock, and then I know that it's time for me to wake up. But yeah.
Huh. So you're like a rock or a log when you sleep. That's why it's so easy to kill you.
Right. Now, I had to get up early for this podcast because I know that you guys can't go too late in the evening, but...
Yeah. We're getting old.
It happens.
I mean, I say that around a guy that's 1,500. We're getting old.
I haven't felt this young all week.
Well, I'm glad I can help you out in that department.
And today we all learned that it's not garlic that keeps vampires away. It's hard drugs.
Yeah, that is true.
The garlic does keep vampires away, and I think the hard drug stuff, that's just it's really more of a precautionary thing than an actual thing.
Than an actual repellent. Yeah.
Right.
So it wouldn't be responsible to be like, if you want to avoid vampires, eat pizza and LSD.
No.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't see that government campaign.
A government PSA to do more LSD and to eat more garlicky pizza.
Yeah.
Well, we can try it. It actually works.
Hey, kids. Want to keep the vampires away? Eat some garlicky pizza. Or I'll do this strip of LSD. Strip your balls off.
I was going to say you could put the LSD on the pizza.
Ooh.
God.
Just puddle it.
Hey, Yeti, do you have like Interview with a Vampire on your list or anything?
I do have. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
What's your opinion on those guys?
I loved What We Do in the Shadows. To me, it seemed more like a coming of age kind of documentary. It kind of reminded me when I was a young vampire, up and coming. Now granted, I spent a lot of time, in a different castle, but if I had, gone out into the world a lot sooner, I could imagine me and my friends having a flat like that, and getting into a lot of the same shenanigans. So there are.
So it's more relatable for you, like when we watch a movie about Southern people, and we're like, oh, I know that guy. Basically, I know I know that character. You know, you kind of feel the same.
Right. I will say there are some pretty cool werewolves out there, though. I mean, you know, werewolves are just like any other creature, any other person. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. So,
Real quick,
you just kind of have to pick and choose. Huh?
have you ever accidentally bit a werewolf that was not transformed yet? Or can you sense that before?
You can pretty much, you can tell.
Because like in the movie Twilight,
they got a
can
scent,
smell
right?
it.
Like don't.
Okay, first of all, do not bring Twilight into this discussion.
Whoa.
You are a grown man. We don't talk about Twilight. That's number one. Number two. There's sort of this unwritten rule in the supernatural monster world where you just sort of know who's who and you don't cross that line. So I can tell when, you know, you just know when somebody's a werewolf. They give off that you can feel that vibe, as it were. So it's a very subtle vibe. Humans probably couldn't catch on to it, but vampires can. Other creatures of the night can. So we know not to try to attack this one.
So they be.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, sometimes it can be just as chaotic as the human world. So people starting beef, as the kids say. You know, it's funny. I'm trying to get my head around slang, and there are some phrases that I get spot on, like, you know, have beef with someone. But then there's some that just go way over my head, like what do you say when something's really great? Cold, or is it cool?
Yeah, cool. That's
Cool.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't know why. That phrase has been around since the 50s. I still can't get my head around it. I don't know why.
It makes sense. It is, when you really think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it also doesn't make sense because kids use cold in slang. It's just not the right word. You know, they say you're cold when you're being a bad person or something. But in my mind, like, wouldn't you be sort of hot because, like, you know, the fiery depths of hell, and you're rising from there, and you know you're hot from all of the flames. So I don't know how that works. It goes beyond me sometimes. Every now and then I do sort of prefer like how we used to talk back in the Victorian age, but I do like air conditioning, so at least there's that.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
It really is.
Maybe that's where the word cool come from, because you know, it's cool.
That's so good.
Chill.
It felt so good. It's cool. I don't know.
You might be right about that, actually.
I'm reaching here, guys. Reach.
Spitballing. Just spitballing. When it comes down to it, our language doesn't make a lot of sense.
So
Count, with everything going on, and the public not being able to go out, it's had to be kind of tough on you, man.
It was tough on me. Whenever I think I sort of talked about this on a live stream one night. Whenever the governor did the, I guess when he did the public lockdown, he closed down all public places. So basically, what happens is a vampire cannot enter anywhere unless they have an open invitation. So I can't come to your house unless you say that I can come to your house. So, and in public places, it's a little weird because even though you don't have someone that can just invite you in, the doors opening and, you know, the signage, it implies that it is open to anything or anyone. So come right in. But then when you have a big authority figure like that, who says that you have to close. Basically, what happened was immediately 90% of the places around the area that I record the show in, they rescinded their invitation, so I could not physically go anywhere. I was trapped. So I was on lockdown just like everyone else, but most people were just trapped in their houses. I was trapped in a room, in a house that's not mine. So.
Oh, because I was
but still.
I was just picturing you like this. If people were watching the video, and you was just floating down the street back and forth, sad. Oh, people.
Nothing to eat.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, like his feet are dragging on the sidewalk. I was just picturing. Sorry.
I mean, that was me a little bit after the lockdown, but it's hard for a vampire when you literally don't have anywhere to. You're not permitted to go anywhere because you can't physically. Once that invitation's gone, you're physically locked wherever you are. So it's like a spell.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to go outside because once you go outside, then you had to get back in. Somebody invited you back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd be screwed.
Yeah, I was very limited on where I could go in and out. So.
Well, I can tell you this, Yeti. You can go into Yeti's house anytime you want to. You're more than welcome.
I mean,
does that count?
I'm trying to get that eternal life I'm trying to get on that big tooth eternal life train personally.
Well, okay, so I get so yes, he indirectly that you volunteering the invitation sort of works.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You
want me to come to your house?
I
think you should. I bet you're closer to Johnny. You could go and.
You are.
Johnny's always wanted to be a vampire.
It'd take me about 30 minutes to get to Yeti's. It might take me 10 minutes to get to yours, Johnny.
Yeah. I always wanted to be a vampire over a werewolf. I thought it would be cooler. I watched the one movie when I was a kid, Lost Boys.
At least if you're a vampire, you can still walk around and kind of do whatever. But if you're a werewolf, you kind of got to hide when you transform.
Well, they can't kill themselves.
Depending how empathetic you are, you're always kind of a drama queen because you feel so bad for being a werewolf and you kill people and blah. Yeah. You don't want that kind of drama in your life.
No. I always said, if I had a choice, I'd be okay with killing people if I was a vampire.
And nowadays, like, everybody thinks it's so sexy to get killed by a vampire, so you win twice.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be so cool to get ripped apart by a werewolf.
No, it's never pretty to watch that. No, I can vouch for that.
But if a vampire does kill me, all I want is permission to die dramatically, and you know what I'm saying, like, I'm dead,
right.
Oh my
maybe,
God, that
maybe even like a monologue before you die.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
I had so much going for me in life. My cat. Okay.
Someone feed Tucker.
Yeah,
that'd be it. I mean, there wouldn't be much. Yeah. Never mind. I don't want a monologue. Just kill me.
You don't mind? Just out of curiosity, I'll warn you. This is kind of out of left field. It doesn't really have anything to do with vampires, but it does have to do with horror films. Have any of you seen the 1996 film version of The Island of Dr. Moreau?
A long time ago.
Okay. Because I have been seeing some things pop up on my feed, just highlights in different reviews that I've sort of checked on. And I'm curious to watch this movie now because if it's as bad as everyone says it is, I'm in for a treat.
I think it is.
Seeing Marlon Brando, he looks like a really fat kabuki theater actor. Just, I don't even understand why they went with that. I have so many questions, and I have to find this movie and watch it.
Oh yeah, it's got Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this movie, but like Yeti, it's been a long time ago.
I can kind of see the makeup designs in my head, and literally the only thing I remember is there's a control room. There's two of these monster people, and one's like, "What the fuck's going on?" and blah blah blah, this and that, and the other one turns around in a swivel chair, and he's hitting this big old hog leg, and he's just like, "Smoke this and you'll understand." And that's all I remember from that movie.
Okay, I have to find this film.
Yeah.
I have to. Like,
yeah, I've watched this movie, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. Because I think I've seen most of the things that Val Kilmer's been in. Because I really liked him, when he was, I liked his movies. And
When he was Batman?
well, I don't know if I ever watched that. I probably watched that Batman. I didn't really care for it, but I mean, I like most of his movies, and so
All right,
yeah, I've seen that movie.
Hey, any more, maybe a last question before we have to let the count go?
Just
Put me on the
I would
spot.
say this. Yeah, I'd just say this. Make sure you go subscribe to Troma now. It's $4.99 a month. When the count will let you know when you to subscribe, and so you can watch the show. You get a 30-day free trial.
Yeah. I was going to say it's free for 30 days. So
You get the count
it's not a week.
and like an assload of Troma movies and shows and things of that nature. So I mean, you can't lose. Okay, well, I do have one last question. Is there any plans by the king of the vampires at large to subjugate and control the human race at any time in the near future?
no, I think he's way too preoccupied just doing his own thing. So no, he never really seemed all that interested in world domination. He didn't seem all that interested in the sun either, but that's neither here. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, Count, we appreciate you coming on.
We do.
Make sure everyone you go follow Count Drahoon.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Take
Take care now.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.